video, I just want to show some of the equipment we use in chemistry. So again, this is used in all different labs. It doesn't have to just be chemistry, but again, that's what I'm working toward on this one, is more of the chemistry labs. So I'm going to just go through the equipment and basically describe a little bit of what it does. I'm sure you know some of this stuff. There's additional equipment that we will use throughout the year, but it is things that I'm sure you'll be like, oh, I know what that is, a brush, okay, etc. So I'll start off. We got our electronic balance, measures mass, okay. It does not measure weight, okay. It's mass that we measure, so this measures in grams. We never put any of the chemicals directly on the balance. We always have some sort of little weighing container that we fill it up. We just zero out that container. We make sure we don't include the mass of the container, okay. So that's your balance. I'll go next with this large piece of equipment. This is your hot plate. Does exactly as it sounds. It's going to heat up your chemicals, okay? So nothing too special there. We got your wash bottle, okay? Might have to use that to help clean some things out or just move some water around. Then we get to an important piece here, your graduated cylinder, okay? This is what we use to measure volume, okay? So that is, we don't use any other piece of equipment, even though it might have volume measurements on it. The graduated cylinder helps you measure volume, okay? Some of those other pieces of equipment that show volume on it, but it's not accurate, you got your beaker, okay, your standard beaker. Basically, just to hold the chemical or have the chemical reaction occur in the beaker if we're going to use it that way. We got flasks, same idea, just a different type of glassware to help basically have a chemical reaction occur in it, all right, or hold a chemical. We got our test tubes, okay, nothing special there. Some of the other things that we're going to use we got watch glasses. I know it's a little tough to see, trying to hold it in front of my shirt so you can see it. Again, used to basically hold some more solid chemicals. We can use it to let something possibly burn on it, okay? But again, it's used mainly to kind of hold a chemical. This piece of equipment, stirring rod, okay, does exactly as it sounds. We got wire gauze. With wire gauze, this is what you usually put on a ring stand. I didn't bring a ring stand with me this time, but obviously it's a stand that you can then connect a ring to or a clamp. This is something that we can set on that ring and then maybe place a beaker on top of it for heating. Okay, so that's a possibility. Okay, so that's wire gauze. Then we have a piece of safety equipment. This is a hot grip, okay, or just sometimes called a hot hand. So clearly able to try to pick up something that's very, very warm. Okay, hold it that way and place it back carefully. We have the Scoopula. Does exactly again as it sounds. Scoop helps us be able to get some chemicals out of the bottles. Everybody knows the thermometer, measures temperature. We got a test tube rack. Holds many, many, many test tubes. I didn't bring down a test tube holder. That is basically just like a little hand clamp, and it holds only one test tube. Rack holds many. We have, I always learned this as like a Florence flask, but I think some people sometimes call it a Burette Flask now too. But basically just a different shaped flask. This one is a little bit better with some measurements. The line at the top can tell me where 500 milliliters is, so that's not at the very top. I'm mainly going to be using this more when I'm mixing up acids for different concentrations and things like that in preparation for you guys. But if I say, go get it out of the flask, you have this right here. Okay. Again, this is a Burette or volumetric flask. Okay, that's probably the better name for it, volumetric flask. And then Erlenmeyer flask. We have the Bunsen Burner. Okay, we're going to do some good experiments with the Bunsen Burner. Okay, it lets the natural gas go on through and obviously creates a flame, good flame for us to use, controlled. And I think the last thing I got is a burette. All right, so we use this to basically help transfer some chemicals. Mainly, we're going to use it for our acid-base titration in second semester. All right, but again, basically, I mean, this is very much something we can measure volume very accurately in. As you can tell, it has lots and lots and lots of metric measurements. So again, there's other pieces of equipment out there. I just wanted to share some of them in case you missed class so that you know exactly what I'm referring to when we need to use it. That's it. All right, thanks.